How's it going, everybody? I hope you're doing fantastic. I'm sorry if I look a bit rough. Unfortunately, I have COVID, and that means I'm not having the best time of my life right now. I'm stuck in isolation here in my room, but to be honest, I can't really complain either because, well, I have a comfy place to stay, and I get to be bored once in a while, so it's good to do that sometimes. Today, I want to talk to you about electronic drum kits, and to be more precise, about Alesis Nitro Mesh drum kit that you can see right behind me. I think at the moment this is one of the cheapest drum kits available on the market. Is it good? Is it bad? Well, the short answer is it's bad. The longer answer is I love it. So let me elaborate on that. The first impression when you put it all together is that the kit is pretty small. So if you're a taller person, you might need to raise up a kit on some sort of a platform in case you want to practice for longer hours. But on the other hand though, it means that the whole kit is very compact. So if you need extra space while you're not practicing, it's quite easy to put it to the side and fold it in half. It's not gonna take much space, so that's a good thing. Second, you plug it in, you put headphones on, and you're about to play the best blasts of your life. And then you hear this. Well, yeah, the sound is quite far from what you might have dreamed about, but don't worry, you're not stuck with this. There's this USB output that you can use to plug in the drum kit to your PC. Once you do that, open up your DAW, and now you can use the drum kit as a MIDI controller to trigger other drum library. For the drum libraries, there are a few free options available as well. At the moment, I'm using GGD drums, which I think it sounds amazing, but you actually don't need to spend any extra money to get some good sounds as well. You load it in, and now listen. And well, that sounds much better, doesn't it? And having that MIDI map also gives you a lot of flexibility when it comes to editing your drum takes. You can move the things around, you can quantize it, change velocity, delete things if you need to, or, well, you can do anything you want. And that is really cool, especially for me, because I'm not a good drummer. So I do make some mistakes, but having that flexibility, instead of being stuck on drums for years and trying to nail every single take, at least, you know, I can get the main idea and then I can slightly fix it in post. Because it is not a professional drum kit, unfortunately, velocities are not picked up very well. And what I mean by that is that dynamic difference between lighter strokes and harder hits are not very well translated into your DAW, especially through MIDI. But because we have that MIDI map, you know, the famous words in the studio, we can fix it in post. And as much as you should avoid that, well, in this case here, you don't really have other choice. I really like the mesh triggers because they give you slightly more realistic feel, and also they produce much less noise comparing to like rubber pads, for example. So that allows you to, you know, to practice at slightly later hours as well and be a bit more flexible. And if you watched any of my previous videos, you might already know that I'm a huge endorser of headphone setup just because I lived in many different places and I really enjoy the flexibility of being able to record at any time of the day that I want. The kick drum trigger is a rubber pad and that can get noisy sometimes. I'm not entirely sure how my neighbors downstairs feel about it, but so far I had no complaints. I never asked them about it, but well, I tend to record any heavier parts before 10 p.m. anyway, so we can all live in peace. To sum all of this up, I would say this product is like 6 out of 10. I think it's a good base to start with. It's really fun for recording and also for practice with random backing tracks. But I wouldn't say it's a fully standalone product just because I do need to use it with my PC. Otherwise, the onboard sounds are just crashing my ears and I don't really enjoy it as much. You know, it really depends what you're looking for. To sum all of this up, I would give this drum kit rating about like 6 out of 10. It gives me a lot of fun practicing with different backing tracks. It speeds up my recording process, especially that as I'm not able to program drums manually because it just takes too much time and I always get distracted. So using this helps me to just, you know, get the basic track down, then slightly fix it in post maybe, but that takes much less time than programming everything from the scratch. But I wouldn't say it's a standalone product because the onboard sounds are not satisfying enough for me to use them. So I would say you kind of have to use it with PC. Obviously, it's not a requirement, but for me, it is. So I'm still pretty surprised, but that there's not a lot of choice for entry-level drummers to pick the drum kit with decent sounds. You know, for guitars now, we have so many amazing amp simulations. on a low budget. Even me using a Headrush gig board, and you know, there are line pods and all these kind of things that provide you such a good sound for guitar that, well, I think the drum companies should start keeping up with this and give some stuff for entry-level drummers as well. But well, maybe there is something on the market. I'm not very up to date with everything, so you know, if you heard about anything, let me know. I'd love to check it out as well. But that's it for today. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please hit the like button below and consider subscribing for the future content as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.